Truth unveiled here, and yes, you read that right. The government is preparing for a zombie apocalypse, and I'm going to leave the links below and show you just what they're preparing for. And no, this is not a joke, this is not a conspiracy, this is not a fake. This is really going on. You all better wake up and see. But actually, this was reported almost 2 years ago, but I didn't even hear about it when it was first reported. I wonder why. But this is according to AJC.com, and it says zombie apocalypse? Don't worry, the Pentagon has a plan. Oh, because the Pentagon always has a plan, don't they? I'm just going to keep going though. It says Washington, the zombie plague is taking over the world of popular culture, that is. But what would happen if the fictional illness became more fact than fiction? That's where the Pentagon comes in. Yes, the Pentagon, because you're the one who's really living in a fantasy, aren't you? But it says, according to Foreign Policy magazine, the country's military leaders have a plan called CONOP 8888, or Zombie Survival Plan, that will preserve the sanctity of human life among all non-zombie humans. And not only that, but also the CDC also has something like this. But it goes on to say, CONOP, or CONOP 8888, is the guide to battling the undead, and not only the flesh-eating human varieties, but also chicken zombies, vegetarian zombies — who knew there were chicken or vegetarian ones — and even those difficult to kill evil magic zombies. And I'm telling you, they in the actual document you will actually see that, which we will go to later on. But it says, according to NBC News, the Department of Defense, our favorite organization, calls the zombie apocalypse plan fictional contingency planning guidance, and came up with the title of Counter Zombie Dominance. The worst case scenario is high transmissibility, or in non-DoD speak, hordes of walking dead infecting the population, with little ability of the non-infected to combat the illness, NBC News reported. The Daily Mail said that the plan has a disclaimer that it isn't a joke, but was developed after military planners wanted a scenario for dealing with the national emergency that was so widespread. Zombies were the stand-in for real threats. Now, if you're reading this paragraph, there should be some real ringing alarm bells that are going on. The first one, it says military planners wanted a scenario. Oh, you mean like Jade Helm and UX drills that they're currently planning for even as we speak? And then it says dealing with what? National emergency. I just did a report 3 weeks ago that FEMA is even preparing for a national emergency. What do you think they're preparing for? And it says that's so widespread because who's going to be behind it? The elite, the Illuminati. They're going to stage these emergency drills. They're going to stage all these so-called emergencies. They're going to stage all of these earthquakes and hurricanes and all these things, and then they're going to call in what? These drills, the military. But it goes on to say Foreign Policy magazine reported that the plan isn't a true U.S. strategic command plan, only a training tool that was developed during 2009 and 2010. Zombies are just the bad guys in the plan that could be adapted to a real threat, because there's always a threat, isn't there? Just like the threat of terror. Oh my gosh, run for your life. There are terrorists in the loose. You all better wake up. But it's a training tool. They're getting ready for something. They're using it to prepare for something. The magazine quoted Navy Captain Pamela Kunze, a spokeswoman for the Strategic Command, admitting the plan exists, but that it is used for training for students to learn basically military planning through a fictional scenario. You all better wake up. Do not believe what they're telling you. They are preparing for civil unrest. Yes, civil unrest that's about to hit American shores real soon. Yes, that is a fact, because I'm pretty sure most people already know that Obama is going to stay in office. He's not leaving anywhere. And we even see zombies being used in other government situations like the CDC. And I'm going to take you there as well later on. And we're going to read the document later on in its not in its entirety, but I'm going to show you some of the main parts of it and show you and tell you the agenda ahead of time. Like I said, this is not a joke. This is not a game. I'm telling you, you're living in a fantasy. It's time to wake up, because the government is literally telling you what they are planning for. And who are these zombies that they're planning for, and why are they planning it right now? That should be the questions going on in your head right now. But here I am at IBT, or International Business Times, and it says Conplan 8888, the US government plan to fend off the zombie apocalypse. Oh my gosh, but that's what they're doing. It's real. It's actually happening. The US military may actually have a plan to stop a zombie apocalypse. Yes, you read that correctly. And like I said, who are these zombies going to be? Keep thinking, but it says while Hollywood and video games continue to portray a fictional world ravaged by a zombie apocalypse, or maybe they're telling truth in the TVs and in the internet and in video games, and you're the one living in the lie. But let's keep going. The US Department of Defense, the same organization that's funding these FEMA camps, planned for such a scenario which would necessitate eradicating a zombie infestation. Unclassified documents obtained by Foreign Policy and published on Tuesday show exactly how the US government and military forces would respond to a zombie outbreak. The question is, why would they do that document anyway? What's the point? But it goes on to say the document titled Complan 8888 goes into great depth to prepare for the number of zombies the US military may encounter. The question is, who are these zombies going to be? Ranging from traditional pathogenic zombies to far-fetched evil magic zombies and vegetarian zombies. While Complan 8888 may sound like a joke, it dispels that notion almost immediately in a disclaimer near the top of the document. The document even tells you that it's not a joke. They're actually planning for this stuff. It's time to wake up, and I'm going to show you that and prove it to you. This plan was not actually designed as a joke, the document reads. In fact, the plan was developed after planners accidentally discovered that the hyperbole involved in writing a zombie survival plan actually provided a very useful and effective training tool. Planners found that the plan was so ridiculous that students were able to explore basic concepts of plan and order development very effectively. A secondary benefit of the plan was political of nature. Planners found that the far-fetched scenario was almost impossible to mistake for real military plans, such as ones that use Tunisia and Nigeria in fictional training scenarios, like UX and Jade Helm, where they're training for martial law. Oh, is it starting to make sense now? I hope so. It goes on to say the document goes to great lengths to describe potential scenarios that could occur during a zombie infestation, taking into consideration how they would affect U.S. military response to the situation. And here's some excerpts. Like I said, we're going to go to it as well. You could come read this on your own, but like I said, it goes on to say that it isn't the first time that they are training, that they've been doing this for a long time, and the CDC also published some documents on this as well, and we're going to go to them in a second. But remember the question that you should be posing inside of your head: who will these zombies be? Here I am at the CDC actuals website, and it says Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC 24/7, saving lives, protecting people. Yeah, is that the reason that they're behind depopulation and Operation Depopulation through these man-made viruses and man-made pandemics? Because that doesn't sound like protecting the people to me. But anyway, it goes on to say zombie preparedness. Wonder why zombies, zombie apocalypse, and zombie preparedness continue to live or walk dead on the CDC website? As it turns out, what first began as a tongue-in-cheek campaign to engage new audiences with preparedness messages has proven to be a very effective platform. We continue to reach and engage a wide variety of audiences on all hazards preparedness via zombie preparedness. What is going on here? Even the CDC is preparing. Why are they preparing for this? What are they preparing for? This is some scary stuff, folks, and you all need to wake up and see just what they're preparing for and who the zombies are. They even have a blog, a website, zombie posters, and even a novella. What are they preparing for? Why do they have all this stuff? Oh, and notice how they put, oh, Zika and pregnancy. Oh, because what? Depopulation. They don't want women having children. They don't want babies. And who are these zombies? The zombies are going to be you. And I'm telling you this to tell you that what? What are they planning for? Civil unrest. They're planning on food shortages. They're planning on power outages. When there's no more food and water coming in to the stores, guess what? You're going to go nuts. You're going to go nuts for nuts. You're not going to know what to do. And so what are you going to do? You're going to start looking for food elsewhere because there's not going to be any more food unless it's available at Walmart, which they're going to lock you into a FEMA camp that way. But if there's no more food, well, you're going to go crazy. You're going to become a zombie looking for food. And what does that tell you? What are you going to do? What are they going to do? They're going to bring in the military to fight off this threat that they're planning and causing and staging ahead of time via CERN, HARP, and many others, and even more to come. Here I am at the Black Vault, and the reason that I'm here is because the Black Vault is a great website because they have declassified documentations on their website and many government documents as well. And so I'm going to take you to the actual documentations from the COMCON Plan 8888 so you can see just what it says, so you can see just what time it is. But before I do that, I want to tell you what's the real agenda behind this. I'm going to elaborate again. Once again, they're preparing for what? Civil unrest, martial law, race wars, and race riots through these Jade Helm and UX drills. I'm telling you this now. I did a report on this about 2 months ago of how they even reported what? That ships stopped moving for the first time. And of course, people are saying, oh, but the ships are moving again, so that means everything's fine, right? Wrong, because that was a test when there's no more food and water, which they're planning on purpose for. When they shut off all the lights, when there's nothing more, they're going to send in the military, and people are going to be savages and go nuts because they're not going to have food, they're not going to have access to food. Many people are going to think that this is a conspiracy and not even be smart enough to prepare and get food. They're just going to think, oh, la-di-da-di-da, I can go about life living in a fantasy, not even realizing that, wait a second, what is your government preparing for? Because they're preparing for you to go crazy. And when you do, unless you're paying attention, then what are they going to do? They're going to institute the military and treat you as a zombie. You don't want to be looking like this, because that is what they're getting ready for. Like I said, the number one question that should always be going on in your mind is why? Why? Why are they preparing for this? What are they getting ready for? What's the agenda? And who are they preparing for? And just who are these zombies? Because I'm telling you, there's going to be much more civil unrest than you think in the coming days, if not even months. But this is actually one of the documentations that Mr. Greenwald actually shares with us, a disclosed document about the zombie apocalypse that the government's preparing for. And this is from the Department of Defense U.S. Strategic Command. And this was back on February 16th, 2016, so not long ago. And then they give them a letter that basically says that they have determined certain portions that they wanted to share, because this document was disclosed under the Freedom of Information Act. But I'm going to scroll all the way down. I'm going to scroll to the template, which shows you zombie free, unclassified. So they're showing you some parts that they want you to see, of course, not everything, because what are they hiding? But it goes on to say that they have a foreign policy magazine. But I really want to take your attention to what they show down here, which is where they show from Intellipedia the situation. So let's read the situation together so you can see what they're preparing for. But it says, this concept is designed to address the potential scenarios a zombie attack would present to the U.S. or its interests worldwide. This flexible response option, or the FRO, is intended to provide the Secretary of Defense, or SecDef, or Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, CJCS, pre-crisis options to respond in the event of a zombie attack against U.S. interests. Why would there be a zombie attack, and why the U.S. specifically? Keep thinking. During time-sensitive planning, or TSP, options identified will be refined down to the tactical level and executed by the Geographic Combatant Commander, or GCC. Pre-crisis options and options developed during the TSP process are designed to be flexible, scalable, and should not be hindered or limited by the current political situation. And then it says U.S. desired end state long term. The threat of a zombie apocalypse is eliminated. Zombies are no longer a threat to U.S. interests or partners worldwide. Why would it be a threat to begin with? That's the question. And why are they even writing this document to begin with? I'm telling you, this is not a hoax. You all need to wake up and see the real agenda and see just what they are preparing for. But it goes to the actual contents, and this is the actual document that it goes to. Let's read the disclaimer, though. It says, disclaimer, this plan was not actually designed as a joke. During the summers of 2009 and 2010, while training augmentees from a local training squadron about the JOPP, members of a USS TRATCOM component found out by accident that the hyperbole involved in writing a zombie survival plan actually provided a very useful and effective training tool. Planners who attended JPME-2 at the Joint Combined Warfighting School also realized that training examples for plans must accommodate the political fallout that occurs if the general public mistakenly believes that a fictional training scenario is actually a real plan. Rather than risk such an outcome by teaching our augmentees using using the fictional Tunisia or Nigeria scenarios used at JCWS, we elected to use a completely impossible scenario that could never be mistaken as a real plan. So they want you to think. That's what they want you to think, because what is this really talking about? They are planning what? Civil unrest, but they are planning what? They're planning war against the people. They're planning war against people like you and me with the military, and we are their zombies. That is what they're planning for. You all need to see this and wake up real fast. This is not a joke. But it goes on to say, because the plan was so ridiculous, our students not only enjoyed the lessons, they actually were able to explore the basic concepts of plan and order development, fact assumptions, specified and implied tasks, references, etc. very effectively. Because they want you to think that, oh, it's just a joke, oh, it's not actually happening, oh, it's a hoax, oh, it's a fake. Then why would they make this document to begin with? And more importantly, why is your military preparing for this to begin with? Your military's doing Jade Helm and UX drills preparing for civil unrest. Why would they be preparing for civil unrest? Why would FEMA be issuing all these emergency tests? Why is all this stuff going on around this time? What are they getting ready for? That should be the question that is always on your mind. Like I said, I'm trying to drill this through your head right now to get out of that fantasy that you might still be living in, because they're literally telling you the plan and what they plan on doing to all of us. Like I said, what? Jade Helm, UX, when there's no more food and water, what's going to happen? There's going to be civil unrest, chaos. When you can no longer go to the ATM and withdraw money, there's going to be chaos, because then you won't have money to get food. They're already preparing that with banking glitches. You can watch some of my videos on banking glitches and bail-ins where I talk about that they're already preparing for that. Many people across the world have not even been able to get their money from certain banks. What are they preparing for? But I'm going to read you the purpose real quick, and it says, this plan fulfills fictional contingency planning guidance, tasking for USSTRATCOM to develop a comprehensive JOPS Level 3 plan to undertake military operations to preserve non-zombie humans from the threats posed by a zombie horde. Because zombies pose a threat to all non-zombie human life, hereafter referred to as humans, USSTRATCOM will be prepared to preserve the sanctity of human life and conduct operations in support of any human population, including traditional adversaries. The objective of this plan is threefold. 1, to establish and maintain a vigilant defensive condition aimed at protecting humankind from zombies. Why would they need to protect humankind from zombies to begin with? What's the point of this drill? B, or 2, if necessary, conduct operations that will, if directed, eradicate zombie threats to human safety. Where are the zombies coming from? Who are the zombies? And C, aid civil authorities in maintaining law and order and restoring basic services during and after a zombie attack. Did you hear that? Maintaining law and order. What does that sound like? New World Order. What does that sound like? One world government. What does that sound like? It sounds like dictatorial tyranny. That is what they're getting ready for. And if you cannot see that by now, I honestly don't know what to tell you. Now, this is the other version of the document, ConPlan 8888. This is the actual one here as well. The other one was as well, but this one is here as well. And the reason I'm showing this is so you can see the actual document for itself. It even contains the contents. I'm going to leave a link for this so that you can see. And of course, we already went over the disclaimer. It's all right here. But what I want to take you to is something that's even more disturbing about all of this. Remember, what does your government have to do? What do they have to do in order to incite fear? There always has to be a threat. There always has to be some type of threat, just like the threat of terror. Oh my gosh, look, there are terrorists over there. You better run. You better wake up. Oh my goodness, look over there, North Korea. They have a nuclear bomb. They're developing a hydrogen bomb. Run. You all better wake up fast, because that is what mental conditioning, mind control. That's what the word government means, mind control. Wake up, people. But it says here, zombie threat summary. It says, ConPlan 8888 is designed to address the following types of zombie threats. 1, pathogenic zombies, or PZ. PZs are zombie life forms created after an organism is infected by a virus or bacteria or some other form of contagion. Huh, that kind of sounds like what to you? Man-made staged pandemic. Okay, radiation zombies, RZ. RZs are zombie life forms created after an organism is infected by an extreme dosage of electromagnetic and or particle radiation. Kind of like an EMP, right? Okay, 3. Evil magic zombies. EMZs are zombie life forms created via some form of occult experimentation and what might otherwise be referred to as what they call evil magic. Or you mean to tell me the demons? Because that's something else that they're hiding from you and not telling you is what the fallen angels are playing a role in this as well. The arrival of the demons and the Nephilim. You're about to start seeing disgusting, wicked creatures like never before that have not been seen since the days of Noah, whether you want to believe it or not. But then it says space zombies. 1. Space zombies are zombie life forms originating from space or created by toxic contamination of the Earth environment via some form of extraterrestrial toxin or radiation. They want you to believe it's extraterrestrial because who are these so-called aliens and so-called creatures and extraterrestrials? They are the fallen angels. But it goes on to say zombie satellites can be classified as SZs. However, they pose no danger to humans unless they conduct an unplanned deorbit. Typically, zombie satellites only pose a threat. The SATCOM services like DirecTV refer to Galaxy 15 incident May 2010. Wow, always a threat, isn't there? And then they have weaponized zombies. WZs are zombie life forms deliberately created via biomechanical engineering for the purpose of being employed as weapons. Wow, that kind of sounds like what? Cyborgs. Zombie weaponization programs and supporting infrastructures are included in COAs to deal with these threats, because there's always a threat. Then it says the movie The Crazies exemplified the most common type of WZ, humans turned into zombies via exposure to toxic chemicals and gases, legally poisoning us. And why would they reference a movie? Could it be because the movie is actually telling us the truth and what they're about to do? Could it be because Satan himself is about to disguise himself as an aliens and with the fallen angels as aliens in order to come here and make it seem like there's a big threat? Of course they will. But it goes on to say symbiote-induced zombies, or SIZs, are zombie life forms originating from the introduction of a symbiont life form into an otherwise healthy host. Although the symptoms of symbiont zombieism is similar in most regards to pathogenic zombieism, the symbiont does not kill the host organism quickly or at all. However, there is no known way to save an organism after zombieism has occurred, even if the symbiont is removed. The show you all should be thinking of right now is The Walking Dead. Are they getting ready for that in real life? You bet you they are. But it goes on to say vegetarian zombies, or VZs. VZs are zombic life forms originating from any cause but pose no direct threat to humans because they only eat plant life, as indicated in the popular game Plants vs. Zombies. That should be another question that you all are thinking about. Why do they keep constantly referencing popular media, social media? Why are they referencing TV, movies, and games? Because you are the one that's living in a game. It's time to wake up and get out of that fantasy. Although VZs do not attack humans or other animal life, they will consume all plant life in front of them. They can cause massive deforestation or elimination of basic food crops essential to humans, rice, corn, soybeans. Of note, where normal carnivores zombie commonly groan the word brain semi-comprehensibly, VZs can be identified by their aversion to humans, affinity for plants, and their tendency to semi-comprehensibly groan the word grains. What does it sound like they're getting ready for? The Nephilim, the fallen angels. That is what they're preparing for, and you're going to start seeing them. And could this be what they are? We'll find out soon enough, won't we? But chicken zombies is also one. Although it sounds ridiculous, this is actually the only proven class of zombie that actually exists. CZs were first documented in Jonathan M. Forster's 4 December 2006 online article, Zombie Chickens Taking Over California. CZs occur when old hens that can no longer lay eggs are incorrectly euthanized by poultry farmers using carbon monoxide. The hens are then deposited in large piles to decompose. The hens appear to be dead when buried, but inexplicably come back to life and dig themselves up from the piles of dead chickens. After reaching the surface, CZs stagger about for a period of time before ultimately expiring due to internal organ failure. CZs are simply terrifying to behold and are likely only to make people become vegetarians and protest to animal cruelty. They appear to be no direct threat to humans. They are different from WZs because they are the result of actions taken to kill a living organism via actions taken to deliberately reanimate dead organisms or impair life functions to a minimal function. And then they go into the environmental effects and legal considerations, because that's what they want us to believe. And then the actual phases, how they plan on phasing all of this. And what's the plan? Shape, deter, seize initiative, dominate, stabilize, and restore civil authority. New World Order. Please, I hope you're paying attention to this, because this is not a game. This is not a joke. This is not a hoax. This is real stuff, and it's going on right in front of us as we see. And they even have supporting plans to go along with it. They have collateral plans as well as space operations. Wow, sounds like what? The NASA space alien invasion hoax. Because by the way, the fallen angels underground, what else are they doing? They're mixing people's DNA and chimerism to do what? Create hybrids. And then they have another plan, pandemic influenza, because the stage pandemic that the Zionists are funding, combating weapons of mass destruction. You mean weapons of mass distraction? And then deterrence and global strike, omnibus support plan, and then the assumptions, and it goes on from there. You can come read this on your own. But I'm telling you, this goes much deeper than you think. Come get your head out of the sand. They're preparing for civil unrest. You are the zombie unless you wake up now and see just what is going on and just what time it is. Hopefully you're seeing just what time it is, and if not, then I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, it goes on to talk about some of the agencies and departments involved with this, the ones funding this. But we have the U.S. Department of State, the DOS, the U.S. Department of Defense, the DOD. We also have ones such as Defense Commissary Agency, or DECA, Defense Contract Management Agency, DCMA, Defense Information Systems Agency, DISA, and Defense Intelligence Agency, or DIA, National Center for Medical Intelligence, NCMI. Why are all these government agencies funding all this? And it lists some more too. That should be something you should be thinking about, because they have the DLA, the DTRA, and the NGA. All alphabet soups funding what? War against the people, war against you and me. The elite are planning war against all of us with civil unrest. Hopefully your head is out of the sand by now, but I'm going to leave these actual links so you can see it's not a joke. But this is Truth Unveiled here. Shalom.